of bees hanging around the front entrance. A lot of bees on the top bars. You can see them down there. These have been really nice and gentle. So let's see what we got. And you can see moving them kind of messed them up. Frame got pushed loose. So we'll take this frame out right here. There's nothing going on it. And next frame probably has very little too.
They're starting to draw.
They're starting to. So we won't need to put a second box on this week. Okay? So we'll go down one more, see what it looks like. It's not totally drawn out.
This side
okay,
is.
That side is. What do we got there? Well, you can see there's honey along the side. Looks like a lot of brood right in there, is it? I think Jim's one of those people we need to convince to wear his glasses with extra strength.
Yeah, there's a lot of brood and eggs.
Okay, so slide that down in there. See how we keep it pushed together? Then when we push them all over, they'll be fine.
Look at all the brood on this side.
Now we're gonna have a heck of a nice hatch because that's all cap brood. Should hatch this next week. See what the other side looks like. Mostly open, isn't it? A little bit of hatch there will be coming on.
All that is larva below the brood there.
Okay. Now we're gonna look. Smoke a little bit on top of that. Let's get that bird comb out of there and give yourself a little room over here. There you go. See him run? Now we won't see Jim shaking his hand as he gets stung. I did that the other day and didn't do that, and I'll be danged if I didn't get stung. Now that's hatched out, most of it.
And
So-
she hasn't come back yet to
She hasn't
fill
come
it.
back through and laid yet?
Not yet.
Okay, so we got
And
a full frame.
This side is hatching out,
Yeah.
and there she is right there.
Yeah,
Hold,
so
hold,
she's looking real good.
hold her there. I'll get a picture of her.
Hold it so he can get a good picture.
She's hiding in the edge right there.
Yep.
Is she
Closest
look
to you,
like
right?
a Caucasian, or is she totally black?
There she is.
Is she running?
Back to the other side.
Oh, don't I love those?
There she is.
There she is. Ah, she's a Caucasian. We're making a comeback, Bob. A lot of open area there too. Is that all
It's
laid?
all, she's laid all back through here.
Okay. So she's got about a frame that needs to hatch out.
Yeah, this is all, she's come back through here as well
Okay.
and laid all through there.
So I think we're safe looking at this to put the second box on next Friday, don't you guys?
Next Friday, yeah.
Okay.
Now this is all going to hatch out.
That's going to hatch out. That'll give them enough bees to draw those 2.5 outside ones we got hardly drawn out.
Yep.
Take that bird comb out there. Jerry hates bird comb, you guys, if you haven't figured that out. It's constantly squishing bees. Now it's interesting, this one is quite a bit behind several of the others. Now look at here, we have some pretty nice brood down here, and this was the frame that was against the feeder. So she laid on both sides of that, and look at that, that's hatching
She's
out.
all come, she's all come back and laid back in there. That's
So,
all larva in there.
We're in good shape here. Let's close it up. Now see, guys, when you look in your hive, look real careful and see where there's the least amount of bees. If you look down in this hive, these two frames have very small amounts of bees. So you don't really want to be grabbing one of these when you can take one of these out and move them over. but we've got 2 on-drawn frames here, and they need to do at least one of those. Now, one of the hives that we did a double on this last week actually drew out 2 frames of foundation from Wednesday to Friday. Blew our minds, because we took the feeder out, put an empty frame in there, and had an empty frame next to it. Both of them were drawn out.
And all of our hives went up between 10 and 20 pounds in the last week.
So keep in consideration that you think about, hit him like you mean it. You think about something. In your class you took, they talked about how much nectar it took, or honey it took, to draw out a comb. It's right around 10 pounds. So that's a significant amount of honey to draw out, okay? Now we're gonna push this back. We're gonna leave it back, only because we're moving it tonight and we won't have to worry about it. But normally you would push that forward, and we're gonna move these bees tonight, and Jim and Ted and Larry will. Jerry's so crippled up, I'd be detrimental. But as you can see, that's a pretty nice looking hive. It's coming on real good. There's lots of nectar at my house. The locusts are blooming, everything's blooming. Drive around your neighborhood, you know, in a mile radius, and look and see what's blooming. Up at Mead, I was overwhelmed with the amount of, Steve Abbott was telling me a couple of his hives were doing really good up by Mead. And I drove into the Mead yard last night, and that dang yard was purple with bug loss. I mean, everywhere you looked, all the knapweed was gone because they'd sprayed it. It was all replaced by bug loss. The county can't win for losing, can they? But bug loss is a really good plant for you. Butch Rich used to be up on Mount St. Michael's and make 2 supers of comb honey up there every year, because that whole top of that mountain is bug loss in the summer. So it's pretty good, and it blooms for a while. Okay, that's it.